Hey everyone, my name is Lauren and I want to tell you a story real quick. You see, one time in middle school, I had a test coming up that I had not studied for at all. Instead of studying for this test, I decided to play Mario Kart on the Wii. And so I go to school the next day. This test is in just an hour or two and I am so stressed because I'm not prepared. I'm not ready for this test. I didn't study at all. And I'm telling my friends this and I'm telling them that I'm worried, and my friends looked at me and they said, just cheat. And I thought, what? We're not supposed to cheat on tests. I know that's bad, but they said, just cheat. It's not a big deal. And they were so laid back about it. I thought, well, I guess maybe it's not a big deal. And so I go into the classroom and I sit down and I get the test, and immediately I know I'm not gonna pass this test. And so I start to look and my eyes find someone else's paper and I start to borrow or like steal their questions. And I slowly fill in my paper with all of their answers. So I'm taking my test to the front of the classroom and I turn it in, and on my way out, I'm feeling like I got away with it. But then I hear my teacher say, "Hey Lauren, can I talk to you for a second?" Now, if there's one thing you don't want to hear from a teacher, it's, "Can I talk to you for a second?" So I turn around, I go back into the classroom, and she tells me that she saw what I did. She knew exactly what I had done, that I had cheated on that test, and there were consequences. So I got a 0 for the test, and then I had to come back the next day in the morning, take a different test. She also called my parents, so now my parents know, and I had to have that conversation later on, and it was just the worst day. And I kept thinking, how did this happen to me? I knew it was wrong. But it happened to me. Happened to me. That's an interesting phrase, isn't it? Have you ever talked with a friend who was experiencing tough feelings or big consequences or major drama because of choice they made? If you have, you might have heard them say something like, "It just happened to me," or "I can't believe that happened to me." And sometimes, yeah, things happen to us that aren't so fun. Your screen got cracked. Your school bus broke down. You got injured trying to score the goal or make the shot. Someone threw up in the pool, and now this swim meet is gonna last forever. But other times, what happened to you is actually something you chose for yourself. Take a second and think about what I mean by that statement. You've got 10 seconds and go. Okay, here's what I actually mean. A lot of the things that happen in your life happen because of the choices you make. Things aren't always just happening to you. You got an A on that test because you studied really hard, unlike me. You studied really hard and you got an A. Or you failed a class because you chose not to do your homework. You got the lead or the solo because you were brave enough to work hard and try out. Or you didn't get the part at all because you chose to show up unprepared. You didn't get in trouble because you decided to skip that party you weren't allowed to attend. Or you got grounded because you chose to go and break the rules. You got a starting spot on the team because you worked so hard at practice. Or you got kicked off the team because you chose not to show up for practice. This may not be true for all things, but I'd argue it is true in most things. No matter how old you are, the consequences you experience are usually because you made a choice and your choice came with those consequences. And often, you don't make all those choices alone. Maybe, just like I did, you have friends who are leading you towards those choices. That's how friendship works. Our friends have the potential to lead us into really great decisions or really bad decisions. Sure, ultimately, we are the ones who choose what we do or don't do, but our friends have a lot of influence on that choice. Maybe you have a friend who told you to cheat on a test, or encouraged you to stay out later than you were supposed to, or helped you lie to your parents, or maybe they pushed you to try alcohol for the first time, or encouraged you to leave someone out of a group text, or convinced you to do that one thing you swore you'd never do. And sure, it was ultimately your decision to do it, but you had a friend who was pushing you there every step of the way. We're all going to find ourselves there at some point. We're all going to be influenced by our friends, whether it's a great choice or a not so great choice. So how do we surround ourselves with friends who are leading us in the direction we want to be going? Friends who influence us to make choices that are wise and good for us. You might go to a bunch of different places when you need friendship advice. Google, YouTube, TikTok, sometimes your parents, and often to your friends. Okay, Google, how to find good friends. Ooh, 14 steps. That's a lot of steps. But did you know you can find some really solid friend advice in the Bible, written by real people like you and me? There was a really wise person who lived a long time ago named Solomon. He shared a lot of wise things about relationships, friendships, and just life in general. If you've never heard of him, Solomon is considered to be one of the wisest people to ever walk the earth. God gave Solomon all of this wisdom, and a lot of it was written down for us to learn from. You can read much of what Solomon had to say in the book of Proverbs in the Bible. Here's what he said. The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. If you read more in Proverbs, you'll see a lot of comparisons similar to this. Often, one kind of person is compared to the opposite kind of person to make a point. The hard worker is compared to the lazy one. The wise person is compared to the fool. The hot-tempered person is compared to the one who speaks carefully. But Solomon and the other writers in the book of Proverbs seem to have a favorite comparison. It's the one we found in this verse, the righteous being compared to the wicked. So what exactly do those two words mean? Well, simply put, righteous people are people who do the right thing. They are the makers of right decisions, and a right decision is a choice that not only focuses on what's best for you, but what's best for the people around you too. It's a choice that follows the way God wants us to live. And as Solomon said here, one of the things that righteous people do is to choose their friends carefully. They choose friends who are helping them stay righteous, friends who keep them on the right path. And I get that sometimes you're just friends with people you're around. You're friends with the people you're in class with, or on the team with, or next to on the bus, or in a group with. You might even feel like you can't choose your friends because you kind of don't have a lot of friends to choose from. And I get all that. But I think this is less about who you spend your time with and more about who influences you. It's about the people you let influence your decisions and shape the direction of your life. Solomon said that if we want to be righteous, we have to choose carefully which friends we let influence us. It's not about asking, are they good people? I bet most of them are great people. I think there are better questions to ask. Questions like, are they good for me right now? Is their influence moving me toward what's best for me? So why is this important? Well, let's look back at the rest of the verse. It says, the way of the wicked leads them astray. The wicked? I know nobody really uses that word anymore, but here, let's think of it as the opposite of righteous. If righteous people make good and healthy decisions, wicked people make bad decisions. They're trouble. In fact, they're usually the troublemakers. And here's the deal. Trouble leads to trouble. The more time you spend with someone who is troubled, the more trouble you will find yourself in. That's just the truth. This is why who you choose to be friends with matters. Who gets to speak into your life matters. Who you let influence your choices matters. You want real friends who will help you choose the right things and the wise things. And some of you are probably thinking, so you're telling me not to hang out with anybody who makes bad choices ever? That is basically impossible. Don't worry. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is this: be wise about the friends you choose. Be wise about who your closest friends are. Be wise about the friends you allow to influence you. Be wise about who you let close enough to impact your decisions. So, okay, let's think of it this way. This is you. And you have different kinds of friends, right? Some you consider to be your best friends. So these are the one or two people who you're closest to. And that is your inner circle of friends. Then you have your good friends. These are people in your bigger friend group. And that's your next circle. And finally, you have everyone else you like to hang out with. These are friends you aren't as close to and don't hang out with as often. They're in your classes, in your neighborhood. They sit next to you in band, or they're on your sports team or at your dance class. They're in all the other activities you take part in. And that is your outer circle of friends. And all these friends matter. But it's the friends who you are closest to in your inner circle who have the most potential to influence you. That's what makes it incredibly important to make sure the people close to you are the type of friends who will help you choose what's good for you, who will encourage you towards the right things, who will help you choose the best for your life. That's why it's important to be wise about the friends you choose. So, what exactly do you do? How can you be wise about the friends you choose? Well, here are 2 things to get you started. First, choose your real friends carefully. Not everyone deserves to be your best friend. The friends who are in your closest circle have the most influence on you, so choose people who have proven themselves trustworthy and consistent. Choose people who help you make wise choices in your life. Your closest friends shouldn't be a huge list. In fact, it could be as small as 1 person. Even Jesus had only 3 friends he was closest to. He had Peter, James, and John. So be wise about which friends you choose to be your real friends. Second, spend time with your real friends. Not because you want to create some exclusive club or make someone else feel left out, but because you want the kind of encouragement, wisdom, and friendship that will influence you toward the best things for your life. Make the friends who bring those things to your life a priority. That doesn't mean you can't be friends with other people, but when you spend time with your real friends, you surround yourself with people who influence you toward the best things for your life. And that's only going to help you in the long run. Remember Solomon's words of wisdom: choose your friends carefully. In other words, be wise about the friends you choose. Walk closely to the people who help you choose the best things in your life. And that's actually why we have groups. We want your group to be a safe place where you can encourage each other towards things that are good and wise. A place where you can have real friendships. I know that this whole friendship thing can be difficult to navigate at times, especially when it comes to choosing your friends wisely. Your group and your group leader want to help you figure it out. So today, I want to challenge you to be real with your group as you wrestle with what it means to be wise about the friends you choose.